Welcome to La Mia Italy, a series of short videos about Italy by a Brit with Italian blood who's lived in Britain and Italy and loves them both. Caravaggio is one of my favourite artists. One of the reasons is that you can follow his journey around Italy and see his work in all sorts of places outside of the main art galleries. But it's not just that. Look at his paintings. These are real people. The ordinary meets the divine, with their dirty feet, uneducated even if chosen by God, like St. Matthew, who needs the angel to help him write. Isaac, who doesn't want to be sacrificed. A Roman prostitute as a saint. It means much more to me than the Renaissance's favourite, Raphael. Another appeal with Caravaggio is that not only can you follow him around Italy, you can see his life in his paintings. There's not that much of him to see in his home region of Lombardy. You can see his still life at the Biblioteca Ambrosiana in Milan. Look at the fruit. It looks tasty, but is not as appetising as it first seems. How appropriate. Caravaggio moved to Rome and became mixed up in the street life of fights, gambling, male and female prostitution, and a circle of young men around Cardinal del Monte, based in Palazzo Madama, now home of the Italian Senate. There's documentary evidence to support this sort of thing, but the specifics are lacking, so you have to imagine for yourself what motivated Caravaggio. However, one thing is clear. Despite the chaotic lifestyle, he also did a lot of painting. It wasn't to everyone's taste. That disciple looks too stupid, go and do it again with more dignity. Or the Virgin Mary looks like a pregnant whore with her legs exposed. My favourite works include the Madonna of Loreto in Sant'Agostino Church near Piazza Navona in Rome. The everyday meets the divine. The brickwork is crumbling, and take away the halo, there's precious little that looks divine. We'll see the same model later on in another work. By the way, you'll be almost alone in this church, so you can see it with calm. That's in contrast to San Luigi dei Francesi across the piazza and almost next to Cardinal del Monte's Palazzo Madama. Apart from seeing 3 Caravaggio works, one of them, The Calling of St. Matthew, is in situ, in the place it was always intended to be seen. It's not clear who is a disciple Matthew, but once again it's the ordinary meeting the divine. The current Pope Francis used to come here often to contemplate this painting and its message, "This is me, a sinner, on whom the Lord has turned his gaze." And talking of sinners, documentary evidence shows that Caravaggio's brawling and temper got him into repeated legal difficulties, and he needed his patrons, Cardinal del Monte and Cardinal Borghese, to help him in dealing with them. But inevitably, one day Caravaggio went too far, killed Ranuccio Tomassoni in a fight, probably involving one of his models, Fili de Melandroni, and he was sentenced to death by beheading. However, Caravaggio was able to use his contacts to escape Rome. After this point, Caravaggio is on the run, using his artistic skills to gain protection while waiting for his faction in Rome to be in charge and obtain the pardon which would permit the return he so desperately wanted. His work now becomes even darker, and decapitation becomes a common theme, as we will see. Compare these 2 paintings of the resurrected Jesus revealing himself to his disciples at Emmaus. The first in the National Gallery in London is vivid in colour and joy. The second in the Pinacoteca di Brera in Milan, subdued and dark. Caravaggio first flees to Naples, and his work there includes the 7 Works of Mercy in a local church where you can still see it. But life as a fugitive means he's at the mercy of events, and he has to flee again, this time to the Knights of St. John in Malta. Here he paints the beheading of John the Baptist, with his signature in the blood spilling from John the Baptist's cut throat. It's still in St. John's Cathedral in Valletta. Despite Caravaggio's efforts to retain favour, who would not want his portrait painted by Caravaggio? The brawling continued, and he had to flee again, this time to Sicily. Some of his altarpieces remain, but the quality is darker and more desperate. Caravaggio returned to Naples, and from there sent his painting of David with the head of Goliath to his patron, Cardinal Borghese in Rome, in search of his help in obtaining a pardon. Who does Goliath remind you of? But it was all for nothing. Just when it appeared Caravaggio could return to Rome, he fell ill and died in Port Ercole on the coast in Tuscany, probably on his journey back to Rome, although there were rumours he had been murdered by one of his many enemies. The best place to see Caravaggio is probably La Galleria Borghese in Rome. After his death, Cardinal Borghese gathered further paintings by Caravaggio for his collection. It includes the Madonna and Child with St. Anne, which the cynical cardinal commissioned for the Vatican, knowing it would be unpopular, and he could pick it up at a bargain price later. You may recognise the Madonna from a previous painting. Sadly, there are some masterpieces you can't see. I would love to see this Mary Magdalene, which is in a private collection in Rome. The original paintings of St Matthew, as well as Figlia de Melandroni, were destroyed in the Allied bombing of Dresden in the Second World War. But the lost painting which best sums up Caravaggio is the nativity scene, which hung quietly in a Palermo church in Sicily until 1969, when it featured in a documentary on Italian television. It appears the locals hadn't understood its value, and it was stolen soon afterwards, and according to informants, fell into the hands of the mafia boss Toto Riina, and was hidden and ultimately lost to rats and decay. What better example of the profane meeting the divine? I suspect Caravaggio would have felt at home. I hope you found this video interesting. If you would like to see more videos like this, please remember to subscribe. In the meantime, in bocca al lupo.